South Dakota certainly is a rugged and physical team, though.
Yeah, they are rugged and physical. They play great defense. Baylor as well is a good defensive team, so it'll be interesting to see how South Dakota does defensively against the quicker and taller Bears.
And we are underway, a chance of a Sweet 16 in Wichita, Kansas on the line. The Baylor Bears in their home whites with the green trim, and the South Dakota Coyotes in their road reds. Down low, immediately poked away by Hannah Shervin, and it's Korngable coming away with it. Your Capital One starting lineups: Liv Korngable, Kyle Watson, Chloe Lamb, Maddie Kroll, and Hannah Shervin for the Coyotes. Shervin yesterday came away with a steal, hit a three, doing it for the same exact situation, getting them started.
Yeah, and that's for her something that she is comfortable with and familiar with, leading this team, and she's a mobile player. She was forced clear outside the key, outside the three-point line, and knocks it down.
Just her 16th made three of the season. And it's back-to-back games in the NCAA tournament that she has started. Down low, she pops open, but Queen Egbo recovers and deflects that one out of bounds. But I think just getting the lid off of the hoop in front of a loud crowd here in Waco, Texas is pretty big.
Yeah, and this is something, as you mentioned, she did yesterday. Very, very confident player. She's a super senior, a sixth-year senior even.
Baseline out of bounds play, knocked away again. This time it is deflected off of Kroll. It'll be Baylor ball.
One of the things we saw with South Dakota on Friday was just their poise and calmness out here. Some might think that since they haven't had a win in the NCAAs prior to Friday that they were going to be uncomfortable. They were ready to play and unrattled.
Jumped out to that early 9-point lead at the first time out. Smith's baseline jumper, no good. She goes for the steal. And now it's Lamb. Deep three is good.
Just an extension of the game on Friday. South Dakota came out shooting the ball well. They shot over 50% for the game. Continue it here in the first quarter.
10 seed South Dakota looking for another upset in this tournament. Smith, a couple of defenders in the area, tries to go cross court, and it's another steal for the defense of South Dakota. They only give up 53 points per game. Kroll, pick and pop. Shervin hits again.
Baylor is going to have to guard the screen on the ball all afternoon and evening right here for South Dakota. They run that a lot.
An 8-0 run for the underdog Coyotes. Andrews kicks it over. Open three, no good by Andrews, but they get it right back. Oh, and then it was just slipped out of the hands of Lewis. And another steal by South Dakota.
South Dakota will run this 5-out offense, sometimes 4-out, 1-in. They're very mobile, very versatile.
Corner three, and that one rolls all the way in. It's an 11-0 start for South Dakota and a timeout by Baylor. What a start by the underdog Coyotes. They come out on fire yet again. Back-to-back threes to get things started for South Dakota, and they have not missed yet. What a start. 4 for 4. The bench loving it. Their supporters behind the bench on their feet. They feel another upset brewing. 11-2 on Friday. They jumped on top against Ole Miss, the 7 seed. Today, even better, 11-0. In less than 3 minutes, Baylor forced to call that timeout.
Baylor in their initial offensive sets, 3 turnovers already, and 8 points off turnovers for South Dakota.
Smith, a couple of defenders in the area.
They will double team Smith when she catches right now.
And goes cross court. Andrews, Pickle on the floor during the timeout. Her jumper too strong.
You have to keep an eye defensively for South Dakota on who's being guarded by Watson. She's undersized at the 4 position.
And the first steal for the game for Baylor. Jamie Asbury coming away with it. And then the turnover that has plagued them early in this game. Already 8-0. South Dakota advantage in points off turnovers.
You have to have respect for the Coyotes defense. Defensively, they've done it all year long, and they're great on the ball, but they're great with their help side defense. They don't make a lot of mistakes.
They are patient with their offense. Chloe Lamb looking inside, finds Shervin, and Smith there to affect that shot. That is the first miss of this tournament for Hannah Shervin, by the way. She was 7 of 7 yesterday, and she started today 2 of 2. Head coach of the Coyotes, Dawn Plitzuweit, what a job she has done in her 6 years in Vermillion, South Dakota. Won a D2 national championship before arriving at South Dakota, and now has them dancing for the last 4 years in a row. 3-ball left side off, battle for the boards, and it is a hustle play by the Coyotes.
That's cool right there. She played so well as a super freshman in the game on Friday.
And by super freshman, it's not a superlative. It's because she's a second-year freshman.
Correct.
With the COVID rules. Shervin inside, hits the open Kroll, and that one touches a lot of the rim but won't fall. And a collision call will go against Liv Horngable. And that is our first foul of the game, as Nikki Collin, the first-year head coach of the Baylor Bears, won the regular season Big 12 title, came to Waco from the Atlanta Dream in the WNBA. Was the WNBA Coach of the Year back in 2018.
Just remember, Baylor this season has played with essentially 7 players, 8-player rotation at times.
And a foul on the screen will go down as a turnover. Called against Caitlin Bickle, a 6-foot senior from Cave Creek, Arizona.
Bickle comes in off the bench, playing the 4 position right now, putting Egbo on the bench. I think a little bit better defensive player, maybe on the perimeter players, gives her a little bit more mobility defensively. She's a toughness kid too, Bickle. She's one of those players that will match you blow for blow, so to speak.
South Dakota with a couple of subs on the floor as well, as Hannah Shervin goes to the bench. Here's Horngable down low. Turnaround jumper rolls off and Bickle clears.
A terrific box out and rebound by Bickle.
3-ball, Asbury, short, and another board cleared by the Coyotes. That's Horngable again.
South Dakota keeps pace too. They don't push in a fast on transition, but they like to get down the floor before the defense gets set. It's physical already out there.
Poplawski setting that screen onto the floor along with Grace Atkins, number 21. And a 3 in the key will go against Poplawski. She had some good minutes off the bench in place of Hannah Shervin in that win against Ole Miss. And they're going to need some more of that production. It is 11-0. The score it's not wrong. What a lead for South Dakota early. Not matter as Creighton came through, the former Iowa Hawkeye, the hero for Creighton. For Baylor, they have yet to get on the board. How do they get going?
I think they need to get downhill into the basket. They haven't put enough pressure on the South Dakota State defense, and they've made passes into the post that are ill-advised.
Just like that one is Shervin back on the floor and immediately coming away with a steal, her second already.
And the 6th turnover for Baylor.
Grace Atkins giving a little bit of room on Owens. Doesn't take it. Instead, she gets called for the offensive foul, pushing off, and that'll go with the turnover.
Normally what we see from Baylor is a lot of patience offensively, the ability for their guards to get downhill. Lewis is great. Asbury is a terrific shooter, but they just haven't really gotten to the paint.
Here's a drive in the lane, but that one doesn't hit rim, off the glass, but Bickle is there for the O-board.
That's something Baylor can do as well. When the ball gets up on the rim, they need to hit the offensive boards.
Oh, and the offensive foul going against Jordan Lewis. She was excellent in the game on Friday and getting into the lane, drawing contact. She drew 8 fouls. This time it goes against her.
Yeah, and just nice defense right here by Horngable. Always in the right position. They are very well coached defensively. Offensively as well. They really execute at the offensive end. but they pack it in on defense. So finding a way to break that defense down will be very important. Getting some stops, getting out in the fast break for the Bears also could be something they could do right now.
Gable using the screen, goes back the other way.
The travel.
And then they call her for losing her footing. That is a walk. Another turnover by South Dakota. There's 6 against Baylor, now 4. Make it 5 with that travel against the Coyotes.
South Dakota comes out and they guard with their feet straight up on the defenders. They're not forcing them right or left. They're making them make a decision and think about things a little bit too much.
Andrews, beautiful dime to Egbo, and they're finally on the board. It took 7 minutes for a bucket.
And Andrews is one of those players too that can get downhill, but she is a tremendous passer, making a big play as a sophomore.
She had 16.7 boards in the first round game as Shervin is too strong with the left hand.
Shervin seems bothered by the length of Egbo on the interior.
Egbo not only 6'4", but tremendous leaper. Owens looks like she sprained her ankle. She is grabbing her right ankle, and Baylor does not have depth. But that's a beautiful play.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to draw the defender, stay under control. Don't get in there and get a charge. Good to see Owens up and getting down the floor. She was in a boot earlier this season, so has struggled a little bit with her foot.
And she is still hurting. She's matched up against Maddie Kroll. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to ISO her. Hannah Shervin will take the jumper instead, and that one is off the iron. Lewis speeding ahead, hits Owens. Lewis, one dribble, 3-ball, front rim. But there's Queen Egbo's length getting up for the board, and she immediately turns it over.
You have to stay under control, have good vision. Egbo, when she's double teamed on the inside with whether it's a rebound or an interior pass, these turnovers are really hurting Baylor.
Chloe Lamb, look at that rotation. That is so buttery soft.
Boy, if the WNBA scouts haven't noticed her yet, they should in these last couple of days.
Pass down low, that's Egbo. Count it. Collision wanted to know if it was an offensive or defensive foul, and Egbo says, nope, you count that and give me a chance for a 3-point play.
Yeah, that's such a tough call right now because Egbo's catching on the inside of that restricted area, and she just doesn't give the offense enough time to land right there. You have to allow the player to catch, can't get underneath her. And again, another good look right there by Baylor of getting inside into the paint.
Well, Egbo has all 4 of Baylor's points. Can't get the free throw to go, though. And another defensive board. Horngable left open, and she'll nail the 3-ball.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what Liv Corp-Gable is going to do every time if you go behind a screen.
That is the 4th made 3 of the first quarter for the Coyotes. And a steal. That is the 3rd steal in the quarter for Shervin. Pass up ahead to Chloe Lamb, loses her footing, but taps it out to Horngable. Trying to spin away, deflected. Oh, and they'll say that she lost control. Baylor basketball.
Shervin going to the bench for a couple of minutes to rest. 41 seconds on the game clock, 41.8.
You can see Dawn Flitzu-White, the head coach of South Dakota, not pleased with that possession. Hard for her team to hear in this environment. It is loud inside the Farrell Center here in Waco, Texas.
Well, South Dakota is so good at taking care of the basketball that Coach P doesn't like it when they turn it over.
Air ball from Asbury, and she kind of throws her hands in the air. A little frustration for Baylor here in the first quarter as they trail by 12.
Yeah, we saw that from Asbury in the game against Hawaii on Friday. She didn't shoot the ball particularly well late in the game. She hit a couple, but a little bit off her game at the moment with her shooting.
Well, one last shot opportunity for South Dakota. Maddie Kroll gets pressured by Asbury. Into the lane, no good, and Egbo clears. 8 seconds. Lewis sees it. Looking to the corner, this is Andrews. Won't fall. And Egbo's last second shot won't go in the hoop either. And it is 16-4, and Baylor right now looks frustrated. They trail by 12. They cannot make a bucket. 17% shooting for Baylor, and they keep turning it over. Adjustments coming by Baylor. We'll see what they are coming up in the second quarter. South Dakota leads. What a start for the South Dakota Coyotes. This is their celebration when they made the tournament. They knew they were in, but it's always fun to know where you're going.
75 people on the trip from South Dakota, from Vermilion, and their cheering section on Friday. And here's Mom and Dad Shervin up there, Andy and Teresa.
Oh, they're having a good time. They got to move behind the bench.
Yes.
The fans were on the opposite side of the benches in round one as the underdog, and now they get to be loud and be right behind the bench. And boy, are they proud of their super seniors.
Yeah, well, Shervin has 5 points here to start the game. She got him going. Lamb with 8, and how about Gordon Gable showing her range as well? But it's been the defense. Held Baylor to 4 points in that first quarter, their season low.
And just 2 of 13 from the field for the mighty Baylor Bears, the 2 seed in this Wichita region. And a Shervin little jump hook right over the top is good.
Yeah, and she has not been intimidated by the bigger players for either Ole Miss or Baylor. She had her shot sort of altered the first couple of times down the floor and now looks comfortable out there.
Smith hits her first jumper here in the second quarter. It's good.
Well, Smith is being guarded by Kaya Watson over there, the 5'10" super freshman, and that's a tough matchup for her. That tough 2.
Smith out looking for a piece of it. Down low in the key, Lamb. No good, and Baylor is going to push with Sarah Andrews. Smith was open on the block. They don't get it to her. Now they do.
Yeah, that's that advantageous matchup right there.
Double team comes, and it gets through the defense and over to Egbo for 2.
And that's what 2 very big players on the interior can do against a South Dakota team that's smaller. If you're going to double team Melissa Smith, she's going to find someone.
Lamb left open, top of the key, cannot connect. So a 10-point South Dakota lead.
Just keep your eye on that low block with Melissa Smith, number 1, 32 Watson, a double team coming from Shervin there. Forcing her to give up the basketball.
Puts her head down and then is blocked by Shervin, and it trickles off of Smith. Another turnover by the Bears.
Yeah, that Coyote defense. Look at this help side. Shervin knows that her super freshman needs a little bit of help on an All-American Melissa Smith.
She's the 3-time Summit League Defensive Player of the Year. She's got a 6'5" wingspan, and she used every bit of it on that play. Been pushing and shoving down low, and that is going to go against Hannah Shervin.
That's it.
No, I'm sorry, against Egbo.
Well, Shervin goes into the paint and she posts up hard and a big body, and she posts consistently, so she's tracking the ball every time she's in the paint, and just a difficult thing to get around her. Officials talking to Egbo inside right now.
The 2 fighting back and forth. No foul trouble in this game.
They almost look like they're talking to each other out there, Egbo and Shervin.
Well, they might be.
They might be.
Here's Corn Gable. This is everything, and pulled out of the air by Asbury. Andrews. Down to Smith, triple team. She goes cross court, and the foul called against Smith. And you can tell the frustration mounting for Baylor. That's just her first personal, but another turnover.
Well, this was the game plan for South Dakota. They wanted to make it difficult for Alyssa Smith every time she touched the basketball. Get 2 red jerseys next to her.
That is the 11th turnover by Baylor against this stingy South Dakota defense. Lamb rises, fires, and hits.
Yeah, and that is just her shot right there. That little mid-range game. She's got great elevation, great arc on her shot.
Chloe Lamb, the 5'10", fifth-year senior, South Dakota native, stayed home and has made a huge difference in this program.
I've been impressed with the ball handling of South Dakota over the course of this first and second round. They do a nice job of taking care of the basketball. They take open shots when they have them.
Here's Egbo, and she hits.
Good job by Asbury of making something happen, putting some pressure on the defense, and just finding Queen Egbo, who's had some fortune on the inside with that size of hers.
Lamb gets it to Korngable. She'll pull it. And it deflects off of the Coyotes out of bounds. And the NCAA Women's Tournament. This is the Wichita region. We have the 2 and the 10 seed right now, and the winner of this will be looking tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern at that Michigan-Villanova matchup. Baylor and Michigan met earlier this year in overtime victory for the Wolverines.
Right before Christmas, those two teams met as we see Lewis.
And the Baylor crowd on their feet as the Bears are now within 8. Nikki Collin animated on the sideline. Kroll lowers the shoulder and she will be called for the push-off.
That's a turnover for Kroll as well. Yesterday she played in the game for 39 minutes and had 0 turnovers. Her first turnover of the 2-game series here, the first and second round.
That is the second personal on Kroll. And you mentioned how big she was against Ole Miss. 13 points, 4 assists, 3 boards. Has yet to score in this one.
South Dakota getting a few subs in and out of this game. They've been going up and down the floor pretty quickly.
Andrews' 3 rattles out. Smith had her fingertips on it, but the Coyotes have it. Here's Korngable. Over to Lamb. 3-point bomb is true.
The defense for Baylor just is slow in transition and getting a hand high enough in the face of any of the South Dakota shooters.
Baylor has hit 4 of their last 7, make it 5 of 8. That 3 ball is pure from Jamie Asbury.
Well, and I think just Baylor getting going by penetrating to the basket. Things open up on the perimeter. They've got an experienced backcourt with the Bears.
Shervin, deep 3, hits the front rim. And that ball tipped out of bounds. It will be Baylor ball, the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. And we have a timeout on the floor. The Women's Championship presented by Capital One is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Well, yes, ladies, this is definitely one to keep your eye on. Another upset could be brewing as that ball just sticks. And Alyssa Smith says, I'll get that out, but it's wedged pretty tight. There she goes. Maybe that'll get her on track. Little extra juice in the legs for Alyssa Smith, who can dunk. Tried one in the Big 12 tournament, but wouldn't go down. Three ball, that's what they needed. Sarah Andrews out of the timeout with the three ball, and the Bears within 5.
Yeah, Sarah Andrews is such a big component of the offense for Baylor, and now Nikki Collin trying to get the fans into this.
Nikki Collin in her first year at Baylor, taking over for the Hall of Famer Kim Mulkey, who's now at LSU.
And 8 on the shot clock.
Down low, and I think we'll get a reach as Korngable was inside the lane.
The points have been hard to come by for Coach Nikki and her team, but just a quick little out of bounds play right here. And Sarah Andrews, you have to respect that jump shot out there, and just the second 3 of the game for Baylor today. 5 for South Dakota.
She shoots almost 40% from deep, does Andrews. She is a good young player. That jumper is off, but deflected off of Baylor. It will remain South Dakota ball.
This game has been incredibly physical out there. It's been sloppy at times. Obviously, the first quarter was not good for Baylor with their turnovers, but a lot of bodies flying into each other, a lot of hard screens being set.
Lamb puts it to Korngable. We got one-on-one down low. Now Shervin goes out to the 3. Atkins puts it on the deck and is rejected by Smith.
And that's Larkins right there, the 6th player of the year in the Summit. Getting some playing time, a true freshman out there, so getting her first look at the All-American Alyssa Smith. Hello.
And goodbye. Shervin, baseline out of bounds, easy look, executed to perfection.
And that's something South Dakota does extremely well. They execute their out-of-bounds plays. They will pick you apart.
9 points for Hannah Shervin in this one, 20 in the opener. Good rotation, but the jumper is off. Lewis picks up the loose ball, gets it back. 3 ball, money.
That was deep, deep out there beyond three-point land, and the crowd is crazy loud right now in here.
South Dakota led 11-0. 16-4 at the end of the first quarter, but Baylor is trying to crawl back. It's within 4. Korngable out to Shervin, and she quiets the crowd.
Again, Shervin just posts up for about 10 seconds and then pops out as soon as her defender goes to help. Knocks down another 3. And look at her face right now. She is yelling at her teammates, trying to get them into this game, imploring them to defend.
Good straight line drive, but it comes after the whistle as the foul on the ground. As South Dakota averages 6 made threes per game, they have 6 already. And a little bit of physical contact. I think typical post play, right?
Yeah,
just go down there, mix it up.
That's the best.
Oh, what a feed to Egbo. Sarah Andrews has eyes in the back of her head.
And we talked about her passing ability this morning. She is just tremendous, next level kind of passing. And Baylor going to that attack on the side instead of going down the middle where there's less help.
Lamb pulling up. That is her, excuse me, no, that's Korngable, the pull-up queen. That's her 7th point of the game.
Better help right there by South Dakota. They had been struggling guarding that penetration to the baseline, towards the baseline from the wing, and Baylor had success.
Macy Giebert on the floor, bringing the ball up, gets it to Korngable. Shervin off the window. She has been on fire, and South Dakota in the lead. They have led from start to finish. They're up 9, less than a minute to go on Baylor's home floor.
Baylor's going to this high horn set and trying to post up Egbo, who's had done a really nice job on the interior of catching and hitting on the inside. That time an offensive foul. Good defense by Shervin.
And that foul goes against Queen Egbo, and that will be her second. So a 13-second differential between the game and shot clock.
Oh, this has been a much better quarter for Baylor. Started out in that first quarter with just 4 points, so taking care of the basketball, hit some shots, defended a little bit better. Good motion offense, shot clock at 8.
No Lamb, she's got the 2 personals. Atkins somehow twists and turns and gets it to go.
And that's Larkins again. That's freshman, the true freshman. She went in there and had her shot blocked last time before.
Bickle gets it rejected, and that is the end of the first half. South Dakota with an exclamation point to end the first 20 minutes. What a half of basketball for the South Dakota Coyotes. The 10 seed leads by 11. They want a trip to the Sweet 16 for the first time in their history. We'll send it to the studio. Degree in the studio right now.
13 turnovers that really got them in trouble.
That is the Cooper Tires game track. And the points off turnovers 16-2 in favor of South Dakota.
And you have to mention Alyssa Smith, and she's been shut down pretty much. Scored only 2 points in that first half, but remember on Friday she only had 4 in the first half and she had 17 in the third quarter, so keep an eye on her.
Was feeling under the weather, played through it, but is feeling better every day according to head coach Nikki Collin, and the Coyotes come up empty on their first possession. Here's Lewis.
And again going to that pistol screen where they're screening for the ball handler to drive the ball to the baseline.
Egbo deflects that away from Shervin. A collision. Foul called away from the ball, and by the looks of Nikki Collin, it's going to go against the Bears.
Well, it's one of those fouls that most coaches hate, is the foul where somebody takes a charge sort of in the middle of the floor as somebody's running down the floor.
And that is why Nikki Collin's so upset. It's going against Queen Egbo. I don't like that call. I mean,
it's the correct call. You just don't like the whole play, I think.
I mean, it's just one of those things that's just baiting somebody who's running down to get position.
I really can't speak because I used to do it all the time.
Well, touche, but as it stands, Queen Egbo with 3 personals has to sit on the bench.
Well, again, she was the most productive offensively with 10 points. Did well on the interior.
They need Smith to get going. Double team there, and she scores right over the top and 1.
I like how Smith on that catch right there recognized there was a double team and it was coming from the middle. She turns to the baseline, makes that tough baseline jumper. They will need her to have some production on the interior, but watch the double team coming from the middle. Smith with that tough 2. She is, I've said this 100 times already, she has gotten so good at these tough 2s, these baseline shots, 15-foot shots.
The power to go right through the contact on her wrist.
Well, she certainly has the height advantage on everybody out there, except for maybe Shervin, which they match up pretty well. But as we mentioned early in the game, she's being guarded primarily by Kaya Watson, who is the super freshman that's tasked with guarding her and being guarded by Alyssa Smith.
Smith just a tick under 80% from the foul line, can't complete the 3-point play. It is a 9-point Coyotes advantage. Watson, the deep 3 is short.
Lewis gets downhill and down the floor so fast.
She got there in a hurry, but that shot slipping out of her hand, and that one hits the bottom of the rim. Kroll turning, extending the arm, and called for the offensive foul.
Oh, that's great defense by Asbury. She is their primary defender out there and terrific on the ball. Kroll is the kind of player that likes to back you down in the paint, and that's 3 fouls on her.
That is her third as Amy Asbury goes to the deck. Again, not a ton of contact on that one, so Egbo gets one, and now Kroll gets an offensive foul. South Dakota's defense coming away with it. They've got numbers. Watson going right at Lewis, and that one rolls into the cup. Looked like it might have wanted to hang and fall off, but it goes down.
Yeah, Kaya Watson, her first points today, 2 points. She's 1 for 3 from the field, but this is a young lady that was a big contributor in the game on Friday, especially in the third quarter. She and Kroll were tremendous getting to the rim.
8 points, 4 boards, 3 dimes in that first game for Watson. We mentioned the 3 seniors for South Dakota and how well they've played. 2 fifth-year seniors and Shervin, the 6th-year senior, but those 2 freshmen in the starting lineup are a wonderful complement.
And Kroll taking a seat right now with those 3 fouls back in the game. Grace Larkins, the freshman 6th player of the year.
Larkins with that nice take to end the first half.
He also had that impressive shot blocked by Smith in the second half.
She may have to play some extended minutes here in the third quarter with the 3rd personal on Kroll. Smith rises, fires, no good.
As well as Smith shoots that shot right there, I would like to see her on the interior. She just has such a size advantage, a strength advantage against the players that are guarding her.
Watson will pull the trigger, and that is money. Right in the face of Sarah Andrews, who kind of looks up at the ceiling.
Well, Andrews went under that screen on the basketball. That's what's going to happen with any player for South Dakota. Great job defensively here of rotating, scrambling.
And Lewis's 3 is off the mark.
That was textbook defense right there by the Coyotes.
Now we saw the rotation flying around after Smith got rid of the basketball. Shervin down low on Smith, cannot get the bucket to go, and Smith clears.
Yeah, her shots have been contested in the paint today. Nothing easy.
Shervin has 6 made field goals today, 14 points. And that 3 ball was needed. There's Andrews. Gave up a 3 on defense. Gets one right back on the other end.
You have to love the confidence and swagger that Andrews has out there. She just is so self-assured.
Horngable loves that pull-up jumper. Andrews again, and that one bounces a couple of times and off.
Now that's unfortunate for Baylor. They had a player up ahead with Asbury who was streaked out on the right corner, and they just missed her. Bodies on the ground, bodies banging inside. Keep that your eye on that matchup with Bickle and Shervin.
And the screen foul against Hannah Shervin.
And that was just unfortunate. I don't think Hannah was just standing there trying to post up. Looked like Horngable tried to use her as a screener, but she was not aware that that was going to happen. So take a seat.
For Shervin, that's her 2nd personal.
And Shervin just turning her shoulder into the defender there.
But she was moving, and so the moving screen is called. Horn set for Baylor. Lewis left open, and that 3 misses everything. And onto the floor, Macy Giebert for South Dakota.
There's just so much congestion on the interior. South Dakota really uses that pack line defense.
The Giebert!
Come on!
Her first bucket of the game, a 3, and the lead is 14 here. Less than 5 to go in the third quarter.
How about having that for a productive bench? Somebody that can come in and just give you a bit more of a lead, give your starters a rest.
Nice pass from Smith to the slicing Lewis. Somehow it doesn't go.
But again, there's so much congestion, a lot of red jerseys in the paint.
Lewis, the 6th-year transfer out of Alabama, spent her first 5 years there. And another whistle there. But South Dakota with a 14-point lead. We've got a break. Macy Giebert, get it. The 5'9" junior coming off the bench. And let the celebration go for the 3-ball. Off the 7-seed Ole Miss for Baylor with a win. They would head to their 13th straight Sweet 16. Everybody has Wichita on their mind as Bickle swats Larkins and sends that one out of bounds.
Again, Larkins going in there with the bigs, unafraid to try to get a layup, and meets another senior for Baylor this time in Bickle. Just kind of keep going after it.
Over the top, Larkins has it and gives way to another freshman in Watson. She'll take it all the way to the rack, and she finds the window.
We saw that yesterday from Watson as she has that hesitation move, the ability to finish over taller defenders.
No Queen Egbo on the bench with 3 personals. Picked it up early to start this third quarter. She was the most productive Bear in the first half, had 10 points at the break. And you wonder how long Colin will be able to leave her there.
Watson falls down here, and Lamb trying to help her. An offensive or a defensive foul call there on Lamb. She was inside that restricted area.
And for Lamb, that is her 3rd personal. So she will take a seat, the leading scorer and Summit League MVP. Caitlin Bickle. What a story. Volunteers at the animal shelter and has adopted a dog. For all our dog lovers out there, this is a fun story.
Oh, it's a great story, and you'll see the dogs were at the Humane Society of Central Texas where she volunteers first. The rescued dog, Bickle Bear, that she found a couple of months ago on the side of the road, kept for a night, and then took to the shelter, and then was adopted a week later. And then Sleeves, the foster dog that she took in a couple of years ago when Moon Urson was here, and decided then to adopt, and is her own dog now that she keeps every day. And obviously that was in her car on the way to the game today, I'm sure, or taking the dog out for a walk this morning.
She said during COVID when she went home she wanted a dog, and her mom and dad were like, no. She said, when I got back to school, I said, I can do it now.
Yeah.
And adopting the dog as the ball trails out of bounds. Chloe Lamb with 3 personals on the bench for the Coyotes. The leading scorer for South Dakota will, and Queen Egbo sitting out, the leading scorer in the first half for Baylor. But a 14-point lead for South Dakota. Trying to go with the left is Larkins, and it's Shervin who grabs the O board.
I have been so impressed, not just with Shervin, who got the offensive board and put it back up to get to the free throw line, but how about the young players for Donna Plitzowite? They have just done a tremendous job of being competent, fearless, bold, I would even say, to go in against players that are much more experienced than them. Larkins, his last time, she almost got that shot to go down, but we saw Cruel and Watson yesterday and today.
And as Shervin can't connect on the first.
Surprised
she's a 6'2" senior out of Rogers, Minnesota, and transferred from New Mexico. What a career she's had for the Coyotes.
Yeah, she ended up in New Mexico, played 13 games in her freshman season, redshirted back in the days when you had to sit out a season due to transfer rules, and there's been no looking back. 6th player of the year her first year with South Dakota, and then 3 straight years defensive player of the year.
Lamb back on the floor with those 3 personals. Ball down to Smith, and she puts it in.
We saw that from Smith yesterday in the third quarter. She just, at one point, decided she was going to go up and get basketballs and take over. That was that kind of play.
And South Dakota has done just a great job denying her the basketball and bringing bodies whenever she touches it. Just 6 points, 4 rebounds.
Been pretty good defense by Baylor the last couple of possessions.
The lucky roll there. Somehow Larkins comes away with it, can't get it to go, tipped around, and it will be Baylor basketball.
You know what, you can't ask for any more than that. When you're going up against Alyssa Smith at 6'4" on the interior, you have Larkins at 5'9" as a true freshman, just trying to make something happen.
Now this defense for South Dakota has been stellar all season. Top 10 in the nation in points given up. Just 53 points per game. They have stymied Baylor and Alyssa Smith so far. Andrews goes baseline. Lewis in the lane, lowers the shoulder, and that one rolls off. Everything has looked tough for Jordan Lewis in this game. Just hasn't gotten a lot of clean looks.
Well, especially in this quarter, it seems like Lewis had a foul, missed some shots, missed that layup. Been a tough couple of minutes.
And they foul going against Owens. That is her second and also the 5th team foul. So South Dakota will get foul shots. And just giving up 3 points at the line, Nikki Collin does not like that call.
Well, it's a long ways from the basket, and you hate calls made. Clear out there, going to put some points on the board here with Chloe Lamb, who's a tremendous free throw shooter. Yesterday, 11 for 15 as a team, South Dakota from the free throw line.
Lamb, an 85% foul shooter on the season. What doesn't she do? She shoots 47% from the field and 37% from three.
This is a well-versed team. They practice well, they're coached well, fundamentally really sound.
We saw Creighton beat their 2 seed Iowa earlier today. South Dakota wants to do the same. Smith fighting for the rebound, knocks it off of South Dakota. It will be Baylor basketball, 20 on the shot clock.
Did you see Smith fly in from the weak side to go get that rebound? Make something happen here. Watch Smith, the ball goes up. She gets up in the air. That's the athleticism of a #1 draft pick.
A special talent. Doesn't want to see her Baylor career end here today. They have work to do. Bickle, 3 ball.
On the season, Bickle does not shoot a good percentage from downtown, but Coach talks about the fact that she is comfortable with her taking that shot because she can hit it, and you know she's a gamer.
Just the 10th made 3 of the season for Bickle, but boy, did they need it. Trying to draw the charge, no call, down low to Sherman, denied. Now Bickle out front on Korngable, and she will head to the free throw line.
Sherman's down at the other end of the floor, hit the floor pretty hard. We have talked about how physical it is out there. Defensively for Baylor, that might have been their best defensive stand, but it got physical.
Crowd going silent here today. That 3rd foul going against Korngable, but Hannah Shervin, the 6th-year senior, one of the best players in the history of South Dakota basketball, is shaken up and will take a rest, and she says to get me right back in there. The training staff had to come on the floor.
Yeah, hard hedge right there by Bickle, and then the pass inside, and just the contest. You see Shervin hit the floor hard. Wow. That's a pretty good job defensively going up to contest, but again, a lot of contact happening.
It is playoff time. Bickle. Free throw is short. Just nailed that 3 ball. But for Bickle, a 78% free throw shooter. Misses the first. The second one is good. So just about 2 seconds differential between the game and shot clock.
And Shervin not coming in because no time went off the clock from the time she was taken out.
Poplowski hands off to Korngable.
Nice screen on the ball.
5 on the shot clock. Step through, move, and it rolls off the rim and down. Shot is no good by Baylor to end this quarter, and another momentum play for the Coyotes. They hit the bucket to end the third quarter. They jumped out to an 11-0 lead to start this game. They head to the fourth with a 13-point lead. It's the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Another upset brewing here in Waco. It's the postseason, and it has been physical, a lot on the line. A berth to the Sweet 16 at 10 minutes until somebody gets it.
Well, South Dakota is playing very, very physical defense, tough defense, and Baylor's trying to match that. You see tough play on the inside of the post. I love this inside with Bickle and Shervin. These blocks have been tremendous by Smith and Caitlin Bickle, and then just some rough play out there. Looks pretty clean, but still very, very physical. Glad to see Shervin back in the lineup now.
Well, a 13-point deficit, just 10 minutes to go. You see South Dakota's defense holding opponents to 14 points below their scoring average. That's what they do every game.
For Baylor, they were just 4 for 14 in the third quarter, shooting-wise. Smith on the block again.
She rises over the top of Watson and connects.
That's such a high percentage shot for her, and just letting her go to work in there, especially when Egbo's back into the game right now. She has that size differential with her defender.
The game plan from Dawn Plitzu-White in South Dakota on Smith has been excellent. Really limited her touches. Lamb working on Smith. 6 on the shot clock, ball on the deck. Whistle, and 3 in the key.
3-second violation.
It really looked like a kick right there for me, I thought, by Nalissa Smith as she was trying to deflect the ball going inside earlier, so it might have been missed there. We'll maybe have a chance to look at that again, but another stand defensively with some urgency for Baylor.
Well, we talked about the super seniors from South Dakota. The seniors for Baylor, Queen Egbo on the floor again after missing almost the entire third quarter with 3 personals.
Baylor going with 3 bigs right now, playing Bickle at the 3 position. Gives them better rebounding, tougher matchups.
Nikki Collin trying to figure out how she's going to bust through this tough South Dakota defense.
On how are they productive offensively? How do they get the ball in the paint, get the ball in the basket?
Collision, and this call will go against Nalissa Smith. She was trying to spin off the defender, and she'll take the offensive foul instead.
I think the fans are a little bit unhappy about that call because it was called so late. It should have been called a little bit earlier, probably.
I don't like that call. I don't. That's one to me you just let go
in a game like this. She did.
But we will go. 8:42 to go. And another whistle.
Yeah, right. That one will be on Smith as well. A terrific screen right there by Lamb. Smith just going through it instead of around it.
Looking back-to-back calls against Nalissa Smith. She's got 3 personals, so 3 fouls for her, 3 on Egbo.
South Dakota does a terrific job, I think, of using their screens. And so the screener screens well, doesn't move, and the person using the screen cuts right off the shoulder.
On Gable, pull up. And Smith with the rebound, and she will get fouled by Shervin. And just the 2nd personal on Shervin.
I would like to see Baylor run offense with a little bit of pace. Get some passing, get the ball inside out, get Nalissa Smith on the block, get her a touch, and then crash the boards. Bickle, the best high-low passer in there right now.
Smith will trigger the long 2, and it's off the back rim. Roll with the rebound, and South Dakota will take their time. And an offensive foul. This one against Shervin for the hook. And that is her 4th foul. Oh, excuse me, 3rd. 3rd personal on Shervin.
And she waves over to the coach. I'm good, coach. Leave me in. If we get to see a replay of this, you know, the thing is as an offensive player posting up, you are not allowed to extend your elbow. So you can have your hands at a 90-degree angle. The second you extend your arm and put out your hand, That's an offensive foul.
Two very good defensive teams in a 49-38 game.
Good defense again by South Dakota, just scrambling.
Andrews kicked out Lewis. And another miss. She's just 2 for 10 in this game. The 6-year senior has been stellar all season from deep. 40% from the three-point line on the season. She's just 1 of 4. Make it 1 of 5 with that miss.
South Dakota rebounding the ball very well. That's a big key.
Watson lets the defense fly by, but a sticky hand there by Smith to poke it away. 11-point lead at halftime, 11-point lead right now. Bickle wants to cut into it, but her 3 is off the mark, and a jump ball possession will stay with go to South Dakota.
A lot of hustle out there. Good job by Lewis of getting in there. Looked like Lewis, was that who it was, to tie up Watson on that rebound. They need some extra possessions here. You're going to see them pressure full court now. Saw this from Ole Miss against South Dakota on Friday, and South Dakota did a nice job of taking care of the basketball.
Asbury trying to get Kroll to turn. Shervin. Horngable using Shervin's screen. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Lamb, misses everything. Smith rises, looks to the official, and South Dakota, the defensive stop again. They are stingy.
That is the matchup that Nikki Cullen would like to see. Melissa Smith against Watson on the inside and just not able to take advantage of it.
We saw South Dakota's defense shut down Shakira Austin from Ole Miss, who is slated to be a first-round draft pick in the WNBA, and so far they have kept Melissa Smith quiet. What a defensive performance here. Just 38 points for the 2-seed Baylor here. Just under 6 to go.
And Bickle right here with the foul. As you see, Shervin and Bickle continue to go at it on the interior. This is a terrific matchup of 2 very physical, passionate, smart players on the inside.
The second foul against Bickle. Roll into the lane.
Just rest her shot a bit there with the Egbo coming at her.
Well, Baylor needs to go on a run. And South Dakota doesn't make it easy. The whistle blows. You can see that Chloe Lamb does not like the call. And if that's against Lamb, nope, that's against Kroll. And that's the 4th foul on Kroll. So both of them
when I think
in
Kroll,
that foul range.
It's interesting because I'm not sure Kroll was right there. I think the foul was on Lamb because she was the one guarding Asbury.
The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship second round continues tonight on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. The crowd here rising to their feet. It's a 9-point game on Baylor's home floor. Looking to go to the Sweet 16 for 13 times in a row. South Dakota looking for their first ever.
And South Dakota has not scored yet in this quarter. Almost 5 minutes scoreless.
5 on the shot clock. Lamb loses the ball for a second, puts it in. Shervin hits the rim, but Egbo with the rebound. This crowd desperate for something to cheer about. Back-to-back buckets. Anything. The whistle blows, and that is a charge. Feet set. Watson there. And we go to break. Less than 5 to go. South Dakota can smell their second straight upset win in the NCAA tournament. NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The Baylor Bears not trying to say goodbye to this season quite yet. They have their sights set on the Final Four in a national championship. Queen Egbo, Melissa Smith, Jordan Lewis, the three seniors on this team. Egbo and Smith have already earned rings. They were freshmen with that phenomenal team that won it. Led by the dynamic twosome that went on to play in the WNBA. On that team, Melissa Smith and Queen Egbo weren't the stars, certainly. But they're looking up at a 9-point deficit. 4:49 to go. Baylor has a lot of work to do.
It has been a defensive battle here in the fourth quarter with South Dakota not hitting any shots as of yet, and Baylor only 1 for 5 with 2 free throws.
And there was a correction on the fouls in the break. Kroll only has 3. They gave the foul to Lamb. She pulls the 3. That would be big. Instead, it is collected by Asbury. Down by 9. It is go time for the Bears.
And the Bears continue with this tall lineup, playing Bickle at the 3, looking to get offensive boards. If they don't get a shot, they need to get Smith involved.
Andrews, 5 on the shot clock. Now 3, they gotta pull it. Asbury does no good, and another board by South Dakota. Chloe Lamb, the Summit League Player of the Year and Tournament MVP.
It's just been impressive how the Coyotes have rebounded with their smaller frame out there. They've done a nice job finishing off defensive plays today.
6 on the shot clock. Turnaround doesn't hit the net.
That just looked like she didn't have any legs. Great shot, great look.
They take time off the shot clock. They don't get a bucket. They give up an easy one here as Andrews gets all the way to the cup. It's a 7-point South Dakota lead.
When Baylor had success, they were penetrating baseline with their guards.
Kroll, turnaround, and she got it.
South Dakota getting their first basket of the fourth quarter. They are working hard, getting good shots, but Baylor has buckled down and really contested everything. Here's Andrews on the offensive end. Again, they've been really good when they're running some of those screens towards the baseline. But how about the super freshman coming through again?
And the foul on Andrews. She's got 4. The 3-point play. It is a 10-point lead. The first 3 points of the game for Maddie Kroll, and they are big. Andrews, no. And a foul on the floor. Looks like that will go against Shervin. And that is her 4th.
With this shot right here, Smith just crashes the board. And we've seen her go up strong several different times. Comes down hard that time. I think that's really something that Baylor needs to do is for the next 2.5 minutes, they need to crash the boards. No matter how physical it is, they have to have urgency.
Smith, an excellent foul shooter. Hits the first. Baylor has to hit just about everything. They have to extend pressure. They are running out of time and quickly. And it's good.
Baylor will extend their full court pressure. Again, just trying to get something easy from South Dakota, make them work for it. South Dakota is so poised with the ball in their hands.
Corn Gable nearly tied up by Lewis, and a quick timeout called by Dawn Plitzuweit. The 6th-year head coach of South Dakota was not taking any chances. Her team leads by 8. They're looking for their first Sweet 16 ever. We'll see if they can do it coming up. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. Hannah Shervin, 15 points, 4 boards, and some excellent defense.
Well, she also has 4 steals on the night and a block, but she has been battling on the interior with Queen Egbo, with Melissa Smith, just about with everybody. She has been the pillar on the interior for the South Dakota Coyotes.
And a big part of the reason that Melissa Smith has been held in check, 10 points for Smith, 4 of 10 from the floor. She averages 22.5 points per game.
And if you look at the turnovers, the first quarter, Baylor had 10 turnovers. Right now they have 17. Smith with 3 of those, Egbo with 3, Lewis with 4. Tough defense by South Dakota.
Shervin does have 4 personals, though. And a big screen there. Bickle makes contact with Shervin. Both teams in the bonus.
That's his Bickle's third. Again, a great screen, just a pistol screen right here towards the baseline. And Bickle not recognizing it, or she recognized it and decided to make Shervin pay. One or the other.
Sometimes when you're frustrated, that can happen. 9-point lead.
Well, this is a game where South Dakota has led from the get-go. They have been impressive. You see her free throws on tonight for Hannah Shervin, 2 out of 3. Again, missing a free throw, but Baylor needs to get going.
Shervin had a steal and a 3 to open the game on Friday against Ole Miss in the upset. She opened the game the same way today. What a tone setter. And South Dakota in control throughout. Baylor taking a lot of time off the clock in this possession. 5 to go, and Egbo draws 2 foul shots, but they used almost the entire 30-second shot clock.
Yeah, there just isn't enough motion in the offense, quick enough passes. I think Baylor really needs to do a better job against this defense of making people turn their back.
And that foul, they took a lot of time, but it is the end of the game for Hannah Shervin, the MVP for South Dakota. Leads them in scoring with 16, is done for the day.
That's a tough loss right now. She has played so well throughout this game. As a senior and a super senior, she wants to be on the floor. I'll tell you what, though, her teammates played so well with her off of the floor in the third quarter on Friday. A lot of confidence in those players that come off the bench for the Coyotes.
The senior Queen Egbo hits 1 of 2. Now the ball deflected, but it will stay with the Coyotes.
Well, that could have been deflected or a foul. That was pretty close to a foul for Lewis, who's come back into the game. Had only played 3 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And they do call a foul.
Yeah, I thought it should have been.
Number 3, Jordan Lewis. Her 3rd personal foul.
And that is the 3rd personal on Jordan Lewis. One of those 3 seniors for Baylor. Spent 5 years at Alabama. Has been fabulous this year in her lone year in Waco. First team All Big 12. But they are looking at an 8-point deficit. And Corn Gable nailing the first free throw.
They cannot continue to keep South Dakota at the free throw line. That's one thing. The other thing, I need to see some urgency right now if I am Coach Nikki from my team. I need to see players that want to get the ball down the floor quickly. They look shell-shocked, Baylor does.
10-point lead, you gotta go. And the ball is stolen away. Chloe Lamb will just turn around. Baylor not fouling right now. Down 10, 90 seconds to go.
Well, the hard part is if you put South Dakota at the free throw line, they're going to make their free throw Shervin out of the game, which is probably their worst free throw shooter that is a starter.
So they will just work the clock. 5 on the shot clock. Lamb slicing in the lane. Whistle blows. Charge call coming.
It's going to be on Poplawski on the inside again, just trying to clear space for herself.
So the offensive foul against Poplawski. You can see her hooking right there. But they took the time off the clock that they wanted. 1:09 to go. And a 10-point South Dakota advantage.
All right, now for Baylor, if you're Nikki, you got to get your team to get the ball down the floor quickly and get an easy one. Then pick up, try to get a steal. You can get quick points, but the game has been just not gone in Baylor's way right now. They've only scored 45 points in this game. I think their previous low was below 50, was back in 2015. So the South Dakota defense has been a puzzle for them. I would like to see the ball in Nalissa Smith's hands. I know that the guards want to go to the hoop and they're mandated to go to the hoop, but Smith needs to get some touches and opportunities to get her team back.
Well, they need scores and they need them quickly. Down by 10, 1:09 to go. No Hannah Shervin on the floor defensively. She's the 3-time conference MVP out of the Summit League.
Well, and you have 3 seniors right now for Baylor out there that this is their final game at home and in their season if they do not come up with a miracle. And that did not go down, so it does not look good for Baylor. Nalissa Smith, Queen Egbo, Jordan Lewis, all seniors that will not have any more eligibility.
So Lewis just 1 of 6 from deep today, 2 of 11 from the floor. Misses on that one and the immediate foul.
And I should correct myself, they would have more eligibility, but have decided to move on. Their plan for Egbo and for Nalissa Smith is to declare for the WNBA draft upcoming in April. For Jordan Lewis, she does not have any eligibility, as you see Watson stepping up to the line. This is the hard part about South Dakota at this point. When you start trying to come back and you foul and you're putting them at the line, tremendous shooters.
Watson, a 79% foul shooter, splits the pair, but it's 11 points, less than a minute to go. This would be one of the most epic comebacks ever, or we will see the finish to the career of the outstanding 2-time All-American Nalissa Smith. Queen Egbo, the 6'3" senior out of Houston, Texas, and that is the mood inside the Farrell Center. I don't think anyone here thought that the 2-seed Baylor Bears would not make it to the Sweet 16 this year. It feels like a given. They've been there 12 years in a row.
Yeah, and some folks leaving already, and it's not just the fans. If you look over on the sideline, I'll tell you what, the body language for Baylor right now looks like they've given up and they're shell-shocked.
Well, South Dakota came out and punched them right in the nose, just like they did against Ole Miss.
And the official just told us that the play is under review right now for a potential clock malfunction, so they will take a look at the game and shot clock and get that squared away.
And South Dakota just looks at that clock and says, keep on ticking. 52.8 seconds to go from their first ever Sweet 16.
All right, so here, they're reviewing the clock right now, and both teams are out on the floor. If you're South Dakota, that's fine.
The game clock will be reset to 53.3. 53.3 on the game clock.
But what surprises me is that Baylor isn't in a huddle, or nobody is looking at each other, nobody is talking to each other.
They need scores in a hurry. They're a good 3-point shooting team, 35% as a team on average. Lewis has been cold today, but has been stellar throughout the season. She'll give it a go again, and that one is short. Smith gets it to Asbury. That one well off. Egbo down low, gets it, but 35 seconds to go. It is still a 9-point lead. They took a lot of time off the clock to get that bucket.
A little bit more urgency on the Baylor side of the ball right there, getting some second chance opportunities, but right now they're going to have to pick up full court. There's a part of me that feels like we actually might have more urgency than the team does at this moment, and that's not a good thing. You know, I keep wanting them to look at the clock, realize that they have an opportunity maybe to get a steal, play defensively, but you can see by the body language right there.
This Baylor team has a very short bench, not a lot of bodies.
There's Caitlin Bickle. She will be back next season, declared that she will return for another year that she will have with the extra COVID year. Jamie Asbury as well. And Shervin, who's been on the bench for a couple of minutes after she fouled out.
Kroll takes the ball and then is reached out and fouled by Asbury.
Baylor foul on number 21, Jamie
It's just the
Asbury.
march to the
Her
free
first
throw line at
personal
this
foul.
point, and second-year freshman Maddie Cruel's been pretty clutch at the point guard position for the South Dakota team all day long. A little bit of foul trouble.
I think you can feel the tension and excitement by South Dakota's fans behind the bench, chewing on their fingernails, waiting. They have led every second of this NCAA tournament. They did from start to finish against the 7-seed Ole Miss, and they have today against Baylor. It's a 10-point lead after Kroll splits the pair.
Oh, and Nikki Collin continuing to call and use those timeouts of hers to draw things up. They'll bring the ball down, opt out to have the ball in front of their bench right there in the front court and give her team a chance. But
It's their last time out.
Yes, for South Dakota. What a tremendous performance by South Dakota. And heads down on one side and not quite smiles yet on the other side, but we're going to see some jubilation soon.
Dawn Plitzewhite and her coaching staff was trying to see the triple zeros. Jason Jeske, Aaron Horn, Ariel Breaker, the staff for Plitzewhite, and the wonderful strength and conditioning coach who couldn't be here, Caleb Heim. His wife, Katie, had baby Bennett, born on Wednesday. And they're so excited for the newest coyote. Look at that. Couldn't make the trip. They said they love you, Caleb. They're thinking about you. And his beautiful wife, Katie, already has baby Bennett in the weight room. And look at that, flexing.
Some smiles on the sideline finally from Coach P, Dawn Plitzewhite.
What a job he's done. His team is in shape, strong, tough. And Dawn Plitzewhite and this crew has none other than Chloe Lamb coming up with a steal, and she gets fouled. Look at the reaction. It has been a slow burn in this game for the clock to run out. They are just waiting. And it is the fifth foul on the sophomore, Sarah Andrews. She has had a great year. Double-figure score, over 11 points per game. And an excellent three-point shooter.
And right now the officials just reviewing.
On the floor, the call's called intentional foul. Under review.
Yeah, and what happened in that last play, just to clear it up before we celebrate with South Dakota, is when the foul occurred, the steal had already occurred and the player had basically a clear path to the basket, and anytime somebody tries to gain advantage.
Intentional foul will be 2 shots and the ball. Anyone can shoot it, ball inside out.
Yeah, so anyone that tries to gain advantage with a foul, that's an intentional foul.
She had a clear path.
Just one more thing that...
And you know darn well that Chloe Lamb is going to step up there with an 85% free throw shooter this season. the leading scorer, chose to come back in the offseason after the loss to Oregon in the first round last year. They were expecting to be a 5 seed in the tournament in 2020 when it got canceled. They have earned their right to the dance 4 years in a row, but this is the first time they've been able to get a win. And now, looking at win number 2 in a row in the NCAA tournament. Would love to head to Wichita, Kansas, as the ball is entered to Maddie Kroll, the 5'9" redshirt freshman out of Omaha, Nebraska. And Melissa Smith, I don't think that she can believe that this is how it is going to end. She had visions of a Final Four and a national championship this year for the 2 seed Baylor Bears. As Kroll hits the first free throw.
It is just so devastating when you are on a team that's expected to move forward and you lose a game like this. For Melissa Smith, she will be on to the WNBA this next summer. Will make a big impact. She's going to be a great WNBA player.
Yeah, she's been a phenomenal Baylor Bear. She shoots the 3, and that one is short. But one of the best Bears in the history of this school, the 2-time All-American. But it is all about South Dakota today. The 10 seed Coyotes moving on. They're going crazy in Vermillion, South Dakota. They're heading to the Sweet 16, and how sweet it is if you are a Coyote.
I'll tell you what, the seniors really showed up today for South Dakota to make this happen in the first round, the second round. Hats off to those younger players as well. Watson right there, who was really good against Ole Miss again in the second half, good today. Kroll, who 2 turnovers in 2 games against tough teams. And the fans who showed up from Vermillion, South Dakota to root on their team.
But what a game for the South Dakota Coyotes. They're moving on to the Sweet 16, and Baylor will say goodbye to this season. Congratulations to Coach Plitzuweit and her team, and good luck in the Sweet 16. They're moving on.